Hey everyone, Fan here, and today I bring a third entry to my Tips and Tricks series. I found how popular this series has become with around 100 plus views per video, so when making this part, I decided to share a goal with this series. Starting now, if this video and any future entries gains 150 views or more, I will make another Tips and Tricks video. As usual, this video will only cover traditional styled levels, but I am thinking about branching out from this style, so if you have any suggestions of what I should cover next, leave a comment. Just don't suggest kaizo, I'm not interested in doing that whatsoever. By the end of this video, you'll learn 7 useful tips to help you improve your level making skills. Without further ado, let's get to it! Tip number 1. Design your levels around your character and their abilities. I think we all know by now that Mega Man Maker has playable characters. Each character has their own set of abilities, like Proto Man with his Proto Strike and double damage, and Bass with his double jump. What's cool about this is that we can design stages around these abilities. With the numerous gimmicks and enemies in Maker, there is so much you can do with every ability. Imagine making a stealth level with dodge roll, or a platforming stage with double jump. You can even whip something up with Mega Man, the most common character in the game. There's also the fact that each character has unique things, most notably their unique playstyle. For instance, you can make your level revolve around Proto Man's shield and how you must deflect things to deal damage. If you want a good example, I highly encourage checking out Chizo's level, Ominous Outpost. This level is designed around Proto Strike, and it does quite a good job at it. Tip number 2. Balance verticality and horizontality. When it comes to a normal Mega Man level, you'll normally see a lot of horizontal areas, so much so that some games revolve around horizontality. It's not a bad thing to do this, but it's also important to include verticality too. Whether it's one large area like Bounce Man's stage, or many small rooms like the traditional NES style, it can make a huge impact on the stage. When I see this in effect, the ideas used are mainly based around platforming, enemy combat, or if it's a large and open area, both. Keep in mind that this also affects downward areas. You can try doing the previously mentioned ideas, but it can be a bit harder to pull off, to me at least. If you're feeling daring, you can even dedicate a vertical section to a spike drop. But before you even think about committing such a heinous crime, go play Mega Man Unlimited's Wily 3 and learn what not to do there. Of course, let's not forget about horizontality. If your level is already designed for verticality, horizontal sections will be just as important for the same reasons. Just don't be like Pirate Man's level and put the absolute most boring sections ever. If you need help balancing the two concepts, my best piece of advice is to do 1 or 2 long corridors of your choosing, then break it up with the other. For example, if I'm choosing to do one long horizontal section, then I would place a ladder going down to a vertical section or 2. Another piece of advice I would give is to use your gut. If you feel like it's time to switch things up, go ahead, but be reasonable about how long your horizontality and verticality will be. Tip number 3. Make your levels immersive. You know, it's not every day that I see a level that's immersive. What I mean by this is that the experience feels like you're absorbed into the level. While it may not be the biggest priority of level design, I think it's still an important thing to add for one main reason. It adds a whole new level of enjoyment to your stage. If you thought a level can be fantastic, imagine how immersiveness gets added to the equation. There are numerous ways to pull this off, but here are 3 main ways to make your levels immersive. Number 1. Have enemies interact with the level. Not only is this a good way to expand upon your challenges, but it also makes your enemies interactable. There are 3 types of synergies: enemy gimmick interactions, enemy environment interactions, and enemy player interactions. Enemy gimmick interactions are self-explanatory. They interact with gimmicks around them. For example, the Fire Metals in Grenade Man's stage can light up the TNT to make them explode. There's also the Fire Boys and Fire Tellies in Flame Man's level that can ignite the oil. Enemy environment interactions have the enemy synergize with the terrain and backgrounds. Sure, enemies already interact with the terrain by simply trailing around the ground, but I'm talking about more complex ones. Like the drills in Napalm Man's level that tear through tiles, or the Jamacies in Doc Gemini that literally climb ladders. Finally, there's the enemy-player interactions, my favorite one. In this one, enemies revolve around the player's actions. For instance, if you shoot an enemy, it may retaliate or go into a completely different state. Funny enough, the classic games like to do this a lot. The Browns from Nightman's level, Petite Devils in Galaxy Man's stage, and Bombflyer from Snake Man's level are a few examples. If you want an obscure example, I introduce you to the poles. In their egg state, they act like platforms that you can stand on, but once shot, they transform into a pole which slowly chases after you. Number 2. Make your level tell a story. I don't know about you, but making a story-driven level is really fun. It gets those creative juices flowing. It doesn't have to be something long like Dark Souls, but rather something short. Sometimes taking inspiration from other tales just gives you your motive. But how do I do this? Well, the best way is to tell your story in the level showcase thread in the Mega Man Maker official server. But that's such a lame answer. In your level, you can leave little details that might catch a player's interest, like a sense of decay in the area, things that relate to past rooms, or even a secret path. Number 3. Use shop items. What do I mean by this? I mean things like Eddie, Beat, and the Pierce Protector? Wait a second, what kind of name is this? Pierce Protector? Dude, what a weird name! Wouldn't Spike Guard be better? Anywho, yeah, these things can help us create some immersion, especially Eddie and Beat. It makes your stage feel more lively with characters there to give you a pinch when needed. As for the Pierce Protector, it's a bit tricky. I believe a small challenge as the reward can work just fine. It still adds the unknown support, which gives off a vibe that someone's helping out from the shadows. Tip number 4. You don't have to make levels alone. Sometimes doing something alone isn't the best idea. The thing in question might be too big for you to handle or too complicated. As the old saying goes, teamwork makes the dream work. With online building in the game, you're given many opportunities to build levels with other people online. You can host lobbies, join others, and have some good old fun. It can be a bit laggy, so if that doesn't suit you, asking for advice or asking someone to playtest your stage is just as beneficial. Having some form of help is better than having none. If that also doesn't work, there's the Mega Man Maker Discord that can help out. Whenever I'm having troubles with something, I usually go there to ask for help on what to do, and someone's almost always there to help people in need. I'll leave the link in the description below so you can check it out. Tip number 5. Take advantage of the layer system. Let's go back to the past for a minute, specifically to the day 1.9 came out. Destroyer! Okay, maybe not that far. Perhaps just 1.9 in general. This update featured the layers system, something that took decorating stages to a whole new level. I know a lot of people use this system to its fullest, but it's still important to note that taking advantage of this system can make your levels look fabulous. I know going through layers can be difficult, but a way to make this easier is to use the number pad, or numpad for short. Numpads 1 and 2 highlight the water and shadow layers. Numpad 3 highlights the far back layer. Numpad 4 highlights the close back layer. Numpad 5 highlights the main elements layer. Numpad 6 highlights the close front layer. And Numpad 7 highlights the far front layer. By using the numpad, traversing through layers will be much easier, and it will be less tedious to decorate your levels. However, there is one thing that I cannot stress over. Tip number 6. Don't over-detail your level. This is one of the worst things you can do with your stage. It makes things look very disorganized, and if done to extreme conditions, it can make your level very hard to play. You won't be able to tell what's ground and what's not, your backgrounds will look either too detailed or too sloppy, and when together, it makes your level unbearable to look at. What I suggest is to make everything look neat and organized. Limit yourself to around 3 to 4 tiles and use them in a way that complements each other. It's also important to have your backgrounds and decorations complement the tile set. If you want a great example, I introduce you to Mega Man 7. This game does a lot with its graphics, but at the same time, makes sure you know what's what. Each stage uses no more than 3 colors, but when it wants to add more, it substitutes one for the other. For example, Burstman's level uses 3 main colors, orange, purple, and green. When it wants to use yellow for a bit, it substitutes purple for it, and vice versa in the last half. Tip number 7. Don't be afraid to make unique boss fights. One of the most important aspects in a level is the boss fight. It's the danger, the threat, the climax of the level. If your boss isn't good, it can have a negative impact. When I see levels pull this off, it's almost always a flat floor or an uneven terrain. It feels very dull and boring. Believe me, I've done this too, and not in a good way. But there are ways to change that around. First and foremost, you can use your stage's gimmick to add some challenge. It's a great way to use a gimmick one last time and to wrap a bow on your level. In addition, some bosses interact with certain gimmicks. Chargeman, for instance, can walk on the Mega Man 8 rails. If that doesn't suit you, the Mega Man 10 platforms do a perfect job on spicing things up. Depending on the boss, the pattern can be altered with these in play. For example, Sparkman's constant jumping with well-placed platforms can make his fight more engaging than the original fight in Mega Man 3. Just don't go too wild. You don't want a chaotic and unfair fight. If you reached the end, thank you for watching! Even though 1.10 just came out, lots of people are making great levels out there, and I'm sure you can make great levels too with the help of these tips and tricks. What do you think of version 1.10? Leave a comment down below. If you liked the video, give a like and subscribe to see more videos in the near future. Until next time, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.